Good morning, and today I'm going to be talking about the new TV show, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, or I think that's what it's called, A Knight of the Seven Realms, or something like that. It's basically the new Game of Thrones TV show about this knight who has a lot of integrity, a lot of honor, and that portrays those values forward in a unjust, very gray world. And honestly, it kind of feels like what we're having today, what we're having to deal with today, with every single person, even in the working market today, and in the job market and the dating market, literally everything. It's literally the same. And I wanted to just give a bit of my take on this, because I think usually I don't really watch that kind of, I don't really watch that kind of stuff. I love stories, but I was like, you know what, actually this kind of makes me feel like there's like a connection, like there's a it's hard to say, but it's like the personal values portrayed by the main character, Duncan. He is extremely similar to someone like myself. I've been told. I watched a couple episodes of the show. It's pretty short. It doesn't take that much time. I would recommend watching it just to have some basic idea of like the different types of characters, kind of look at how they think, how they work, how they what makes them take their decisions that they do, and how it links back to men and the men of today. Because like when you actually think about it, men have not really changed that much in like hundreds of thousands of years. They're pretty similar. When you actually think about it, we're always thinking about improving our character, becoming more valuable, more useful to the people around us, providing up for the people around us, protecting the people around us, and all of those values are transitioned today into things like literally everything. Like take video games, for example. In video games, usually you level up a character, or you level up an account, or you level up a system that allows you to, through an interface, feel a sense of status, feel a sense of importance, feel a sense of accomplishment that all men actually strive towards. So even if you're not subconsciously aware of like what you're doing, you are on a base primal level improving your own character in a certain way. So like you could be improving a character through a video game, or you could be improving your character in real life. It is basically the same. Your mind doesn't really make the difference. Your mind thinks we're making progress, so we obviously need to and we're getting like dopamine rewards from this, so obviously we want to do more of this. So the values that are portrayed by the characters in the show, I felt were really just completely and utterly connected to men today. Like, first off, myself, of course. Otherwise I wouldn't be talking about it. But second off, to a few like things that have happened in my life like recently. Like for instance, there's this I won't spoil too much of the show, only something pretty minor. It's basically this guy promises to help him out and do some stuff, and he ends up betraying him for a lordship that has been offered by someone else. And it's like, so you went back over your word because you were bought out by someone else? Like, what the fuck? Like, and that's something similar that I had to face recently, where I was providing my services to somebody, and in business. And what happened was, they thought I could not bring anything to the table that was more valuable than what I could bring as of now. And everything I was bringing to the table was too much of a demand for them. So they felt like it was more valuable for them to cut me off and save some money rather than invest more and have a more higher likelihood of like scaling in the future and having way more than they have right now. So what I kind of felt was like I saw myself in the character of Duncan, and not necessarily in a dumb, naive, like thinks everybody's nice sort of way, but because like a lot of people have told me like, oh, you're really smart, you actually think through a lot of things, you actually take a lot of time to in a mature way like think about stuff. And I think everybody should do that. Like if you're not confident in your own abilities, like in the show Duncan is not confident at all. Like he feels like which doesn't make any fucking sense, because he's like, I think he's like 2 meters tall, which is way more than me. He's like 20 centimeters taller than I am. So that would be like, what, in inches, that would be like what? That would be like this, I guess. So he's fucking tall as shit. But even though he's tall as shit, he's not confident at all in his abilities, because he's only been a squire so far, and he hasn't really developed the confidence that comes from learning through things and experiencing things in a real practical case. And so since he signed up for this tournament, as he signs up for this tournament for the first time ever, he's never done a tournament before, he has to kind of like an entrepreneur or freelancer today, when they're starting out and they're a young person, they don't have any skills. So they have to go out and prove themselves first to other people to show that they are valuable and they can provide value to an equation or to an exchange. But also to prove to themselves that they are able to do stuff. Because like it's basically the same. Like literally everything today is the same as back, even if in like, sure, it's a fantasy show, but at the same time it's in the medieval period, so you can kind of compare both at the same time of like real world history and our history like today and that fantasy show, because it's basically the same. The people act the same, they do the same things. The only thing that has changed is the technology and the advancements, and that's pretty much it. Maybe the words you use, maybe, I don't fucking know. Like, but it's basically the same. People still, on a subconscious level, act the same way. Now, the toys and the tools might not be the same, but it doesn't matter. So there's a lot of lessons that you can take from those kinds of things, just looking either at history or looking at different works of art, like movies or movies or TV shows or pieces of literature, or even like a theatrical play. In these pieces of art, you can always find like lessons that you can apply to your own life. I recommend looking at, of course, there's a few books that I will always recommend, like self-help books or whatever, but that I've read. But at the same time, like, there are a few movies that are worth watching. Like, for instance, the old movie with Brad Pitt and Troy, where he plays Achilles. Like, I would definitely recommend a lot of people just look at that and actually not just necessarily go through it once and just consume the show, but with the film, but actually look through it and actually analyze how the characters act is actually something I personally found way more value in doing. Every single time I'm watching a show, I'm always analyzing everything and thinking, how can I use this to my advantage? How can I apply this to my own life? What kind of lessons can I like pull out of here? And how does that benefit my own life? Because if you're just like watching a comedy show or a rom-com or a fucking piece of life or whatever the fuck, like some kind of garbage where it doesn't actually apply anything to your life, with some drama or whatever the fuck, in a real case practical scenario or a social setting, if nothing from what you just watched would help you, what the fuck, why are you watching it then? Like, oh, I want to entertain myself. Like, okay, well, just entertain yourself and do nothing then. Just scroll on social media while you're at it. Like, fucking, the people who do that, like, I have no sympathy for you. Like, if you just scroll on your phone all day or play like a mobile phone game or some kind of garbage where you're kind of just doing nothing with your life and going nowhere, unless you're actually doing something and you're like progressing, like, I don't know, like doing something productive. Like, even if you're playing mobile phone games, you could just start creating content on it and posting it online. And if you want to become the best player at a mobile phone game, go ahead, bro. Like do whatever the fuck you want, but do something that actually makes you proud. Do something at the end of the day, you look back at what you did today and you just tell yourself, like, does everything that I did today feel like I've learned something, feel like I've progressed, and feel like I'm getting somewhere? And not in a non-tangible, like cloudy, fucking non-real way. Actually take into account everything that you're doing and just be like, okay, what did I do today? I did this, and this. How is that helping me get to where I want to be? And if it doesn't, I would reduce that time you're spending on that as much as possible, and I would increase the time you're spending on things that have actually improved your skills, like literally everything. Like, there are only a few things that can help you and that improve on a long-term basis that will always be a net positive to your life. And those things are improving your body, improving your physicality, because your body is basically your life car. Like, you're literally taking care of this car. You're making sure the tires work. You're making sure the engine works. You're making sure to put the good fuel inside that it matches with the engine. You're making sure that it gets protected from the elements. You're making sure that the internal system works, the chassis is well aligned, and the vehicle does not break down midway because of something you disregarded. So first off is your body. Second off is your skills. If you become a more valuable person and you become a more important person that can provide value to literally everybody on the planet, people will gravitate towards you, and you will become useful. You will become the center of attention by default. You won't even need to act like a clown. People will just gravitate towards you and ask for your help because that's what you can provide. So that is always something that can benefit you in the long run. The other thing, third, is network. The people you know. It's like, I don't fucking remember who said this. Your network is your net worth. Everybody keeps fucking telling me that. That makes no fucking money. But that's because they keep thinking about the dream. So your network, the people you know, is the most important thing as number 3, because you basically are limited. Like what you're doing right now is limited by the people you know. If you don't know anybody, most likely you can't really do much. Like for instance, your options are extremely limited in terms of making money if you don't know anyone. Like for instance, me, I looked at all of my options. If I disregard everything that doesn't involve me talking to people, I can't think of a single thing. I can't think of a single thing that would make me able to live my life and sustain myself in a monetary way without talking to people. So you need to get better at networking with people and knowing a bunch of people. The other thing is, well, you could kind of tie this back into like improving your skills, but if you improve your skill at talking, you will always benefit from this one of networking with people. Because if you know people and you know how to communicate with them, obviously you will be able to exchange more value with them, and you will be able to become a more valuable person in the end and benefit you more. So improve your physicality, because your car, you only have one, it's your body. If your body doesn't exist anymore, you're literally dead. Like it doesn't matter. So that's the one, that's number 1, most important. Second is becoming a more valuable person. So improving your skills, improving you like knowing how to do stuff, improving how to provide value to other people. Third is network. The people you know is the value that by extension you have. And fourth is the communication aspect. So how well can you communicate with other people, and how well you can transition communication into value for your own life and for your own benefit. Those 4 are always going to help you in the long run. Now there's a few like small ones as well, but those are basically the biggest 4 that you can improve on a consistent basis. So going back to the show, I think there's a lot of lessons that can be taken out of it. Now, of course, I'm talking about it because it's trending. So I'm thinking a lot of you guys can probably relate to this, because like the show is designed for a more male audience. So, and it's, to be honest, one of the best pieces of art in the film, like movie, TV show industry that has came out recently, I believe. Because they keep putting out all of this crap about like teenager stuff, drama shit, school stuff, and it's just recycling garbage basically, because it costs little money to actually put those shows together, and they provide a bit of money when they put it out because a bunch of people are watching it. So it's just capitalism at this point, and mediocrity. Like, oh, how can we make as much money as possible by producing this piece of shit that costs fucking nothing, and just how can we repeat that as many times as possible? It's like it goes completely against the core values of becoming a great person and providing a great service or a great product to people. Like, for instance, back in the day, craftsmen. My grandfather was a craftsman. He used to craft and build and create and design spiral staircases on a custom tailored way for one specific house. So like every single house, this is like in 20th century France. Keep this in mind, most houses are not the same. They're all like clunky and all different. So he had to measure the house specifically, build the spiral staircase in one block, and then import that spiral staircase into the house when they were building it. So that takes a lot of effort and a lot of planning and a lot of actual craftsmanship, knowing what the fuck you're doing. Because if you don't know what you're doing and something goes wrong, the entire thing just crumbles to dust and doesn't fucking work. So I will always put forward and push forward quality over quantity. It is the same exact thing in the job market. It is the same exact thing in business. It is the same exact thing literally everywhere. If you do it efficiently, it is better to do it efficiently first and then as quick as possible second. Because if you focus on doing something as quick as possible first, you will always have a shittier thing, like product or service or whatever, than if you do it efficiently. It's like when you go to the barber. You go to the barber, you pay for a 30-minute haircut, and the barber, instead of going 30 minutes, he goes 45 minutes. And he says, and you tell him like, hey, why did it take 45 minutes? And he says, well, I want you to have the best haircut possible. I didn't want you to leave feeling like you didn't have that. So I preferred giving you some of my time so that you felt like it was a good investment of yours. And then you're like, holy shit, that's exactly what I wanted. I didn't even ask for it. Repay, and then at that point you just repay kindness. You reciprocate. So it just makes everybody happier, you know? If everybody focused on creating, it's like, you look at this city here. All of the buildings, the skyscrapers, they're all ugly as fuck. Because it's easy to build, it takes less resources, and it's super easy to maintain, and you don't have to put a shitload of rent on it for it to pay you back. Because if you built an actual like super high quality, super well designed architectural building, and it looks amazing, it looks beautiful, nobody can fucking afford the rent because of how much it costs to build the fucking building. So in a realistic way, you have to make the difference between getting something for the price. So getting something for the quality, like the level of quality needs to match the price tag. And the same goes with the speed at which it was built. If a building was built in a couple of years instead of, like, let's say 100 years, it takes 100 years to build a building, the building's value is going to be higher than if it only takes like 2 years to build the building, right? And the building that you build in 2 years, you might as well fucking destroy it later and make a new one. Like they don't really people don't really build buildings today in big cities with the thought in mind of upgrading the building. They just build something with what they have right now, with the cheapest means possible, so they can save the most amount of money, and that's it. So I think that's a bit sad, honestly. And I think everybody should take more time to put more value into things and not expect as much money out of it. I did the same thing with business when I started, but I don't really want to go into too much of a tangent. So yeah. So Another Seven Kingdoms TV show. It's not over yet. Actually, you can go watch it if you want. Pretty sure you can find it somewhere for free. Doesn't really matter. If you want to buy a streaming service, that's up to you. I would give it a pretty good rating because it's actually a good representation of what a real, I don't like saying that word, like real man, but that an honest, kind-hearted man should strive towards, like having honor, integrity, chivalry in mind. Those three things, if you always have those, and you don't let other people take advantage of you, I think your life can only be good. I think only good things can happen to people who have a kind heart. So like, if I were to give you some examples of what I do personally, and I don't care if people take advantage of me or think like, oh, you're just a simp, or you're just doing this, or you're just a fucking what do you call it? You're just giving away energy for free. What are you doing that? And it's like, yeah, because it makes me feel good. Like it soothes it's soothing to my heart to do those kinds of things. So like, I remember a bunch of people recently that were talking about feminism and equality, and the fact that since women are complaining about the fact that chivalry is dead, and some of the men are saying chivalry is dead because women feminism killed it. So I was kind of thinking about that, and I was like, no, actually, you know what? I'm pretty chivalrous when it comes to actually doing things. Like, I don't even think about it. Like, for me, it's just a part of who I am. Like, it makes me feel good to do it. I don't really care what other people think. Now, if a person's being a piece of shit, you get what you deserve. And I truly believe that. So if you take advantage of me, I won't fucking do anything for you anymore, or anything at all, period. Like, there's a fine line to not cross if you want to have my respect for you. Respect is earned, it's not fucking given. So what I usually do is, like, for instance, it's small things like opening the door for people and letting them go through first. If they're a man or woman, I don't fucking care. Maybe it's things like making sure I'm well groomed, I'm well dressed, I'm clean, I don't smell bad, that kind of stuff. It's also making sure that any environment that I'm a part of, people feel like I'm adding to that environment and I'm not like taking stuff away for myself. So like, for instance, I was talking about a coffee shop yesterday that I go to, and what I usually do is I put some like, usually people just leave their stuff and then fuck off when they're done. And usually what I do is I take all of my stuff, like my glass for water, my whatever, if I have a pitcher, or like a water jug, or if I get usually I get a cup of tea with what's it called, a tea kettle. Usually if I get that and I'm done, I'll put everything together and I'll take it back to the person doing the dishes, so that way the waitress doesn't have to do everything and then clean the table. So that way she can just come by and just clean the table. And so I'm doing them a favor because I've done that job before. I know how hard it is. So it's those kinds of things that it's just kind things to make people feel good, like opening the door for people, even if you're like walking into like I take the public transport here in Auckland. There are buses and trains. I usually let people like get on first if they're women or children, and if there are other guys that I would not deem as worthy of my respect, I'd probably walk in first. And then that kind of stuff, you know, like, it's just, I like the saying, do unto others what you would do on yourself. Like, if you want somebody to do something for you and you would like for them to do that for you, do it for them. Like, literally just fucking be nice. Like, if you want other people to be nice to you, be nice to them. If you want people to be respectful towards you, be respectful towards them. If you want people to give you stuff, give stuff to them. And don't expect to get anything in return. Just give away stuff for free. And the more things you give away for free, the more people are going to see that you actually bring a lot to the table and they don't want to get rid of you anymore. So, lesson of the day is The Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I would recommend you go watch it if you haven't, because it's a good representation of core values that are missing in today's society, portrayed by the main character, and different behaviors that different kinds of people portray as well in today's modern society. And it's a great way to understand a bunch of social dynamics and how it works, but also a great example of what you should be striving for as a man in today's society, that takes responsibility for his actions and assumes the consequences of what happens. So make sure to take care of yourself. Like I mentioned, improve yourself in body, in in body, in mind, in network, and in communication, in skills, and just make sure that you're the best person that has ever happened to the people around you. If you do that, everything can only go good for you. Anything and everything can only get better from here. So I hope you have a great day, and if you like this kind of content, make sure you subscribe, like, comment. I'll reply to any comments. If you want to have a conversation, I'm very happy to. And if you have some questions, feel free to ask them. I'm also happy to answer and give my take on them if they're not too retarded. And yeah, I wish you have a great day. And yeah, time to get back to work. I'll see you around.